What's that sound? It's For Amusement Only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge. Tonight I wanted to talk about a particular game. 1952's Four Corners, made by Williams. This game has a theme of travel, visiting the Four Corners, which is a big tourist attraction here in the United States. What's interesting about this game is if you look at the back glass, you'll notice immediately that there is a bingo card. This game being made by Williams immediately makes it of interest. But beyond that, the bingo card is made up of 16 different numbers. And there are 16 different trap holes which are located on the playfield. Now, I've never played one of these games, but because of the vintage of this game, it most likely has impulse flippers, which would make shooting for a particular hole pretty challenging based on the layout. So let's talk about that for a minute. On the playfield, you have a variety of passive bumpers. Up at the top, just outside of the shooter lane, in fact, you have 5 arranged in an arch. Below that, you have some posts, and you have the numbers 1 through 6 arranged in a star pattern, an upside down star pattern, right in the center of the upper playfield. Below that, you have 2 pops to the left and right. Then you have 2 rollover lanes. And then you have 2 more passive bumpers. Then your flippers, located in the typical position. They're not reverse articulated. They flip in the normal fashion we're accustomed to seeing. Then below that, you have a variety of trap holes numbered from 7 to 16. Complete with a ball return. Now, based on the layout of this playfield, I would say that it would be pretty difficult to get a ball return. You would have to be on top of your nudging game in order to get it all the way down through. There are a couple of posts, and the trap holes are much closer together than they are on a Bally Bingo. So, let's talk about what your goal is here. Well, you have multiple. In fact, the flyer says there are 33 different ways to score replays. But they are combining a lot of 3 in-lines and 4 in-lines in order to get that number. So any 3 numbers in a line will get you a replay. Any 4 in a line will get you another replay. And if you manage to get the 4 corners, then you'll win replays as well. And I'm certain that that replay amount is adjustable. Now, this game was covered in an issue of Pin Game Journal a few years back, and I'm struggling to remember which issue it was. However, it is well worth a read because there seems to be a variety of interesting gameplay related to this game, much of which I have completely forgotten. I think it helps with this type of game if you're actually able to lay hands on it. I've never seen one, and I think I've seen one come up for sale ever. But I haven't been in the game that long. comparatively. So I'm sure they're out there. Now, that said, let's talk about the artwork. The artwork is George Melenton, and it is beautiful. The travel theme is very apparent from the backlash with the lady who is taking a break on her way and checking a map, to on the playfield where there's a depiction of roadways, and then the cabinet stencil itself, which is that of a train making its way across the country. Another word about gameplay here. If you manage to make all four corners of the bingo card 1, 11, 9, and 2, then it will light all four rollovers on both sides and the 3 special bumpers at the top. And each hit on those bumpers and rollovers will score a replay. That's pretty awesome, especially since the game does have a ball return. If you happen to have balls trapped in various holes on the way down and you're really good at nudging to that specific area, then it should be possible for you to get multiple ball returns and thus earn many free games. Now, those bumpers at the top are passive, which means that they are not going to kick into each other and grant you a billion replays, but having more than one chance to knock across them, and if you're able to nudge back and forth between them a couple times, then you'll earn more than enough replays to keep you going for a while. Now, it's a wood rail, so it uses lighted scoring, and the score values are pretty high compared to what you'd find in a later EM with score reels. So you have situations where you light bumpers for 50,000 each hit. Trapping a ball up in the top area earns you 500,000 per ball. And then it's possible to light on the playfield that all rollovers score 500,000 each time they're hit. So, as you can hear, the scoring potential is pretty high. Now let's talk about replays for a minute, because in a typical bingo, of course, your goal is to earn as many replays as practical and then sell them back. In this case, it uses a typical credit wheel. So you're going to get up into the double digits, but not much further than, say, 30 or so, which is, of course, operator adjustable. So it's unlikely that you're going to make enough on this game to actually sell back, assuming you're a good player. But it does look like a very fun game. I do love the artwork, and I think the theme is pretty cool. A cross-country kind of journey to a tourist attraction is kind of a neat idea. And the gameplay looks really challenging. I mean, I would find it very difficult, I think, to actually hit the four corners. The layout of the numbers looks pretty rough for doing that. So, that's all for tonight. Thank you again for joining me. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line. That's 724-BINGOS1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at nbaldridge, or you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.